Hey everyone, on today's race breakdown, we are recapping day 2 of Tulsa Tough 2025. This is the Arts District Criterium. This is the Cat 1-2 race. Got another huge field of about 130 riders. Spent another hour in the corral under the baking Oklahoma sun. And I'm already doing 800, 700 watts out of the first turn. Got a really good spot today though. Feel a lot better. Starting, you know, everyone's having to start on cold legs just because you have to get to the corral so early. So it's just one of those things you're kind of adapting to each and every race throughout this 3-race weekend. We're just a couple minutes in. It's already getting squeezy, argy-bargy, as guys are already trying to move up to the front. Really cool course. It's L-shaped, so there's a bunch of left turns with just one right-hander, and it's going to be a good time. All right, we're going to skip ahead. So 7 minutes in, and I'm riding around 15th, 20th wheel right here, trying to stand my ground and maintain a higher position, you know, just so I can be there at the end and not spend as many watts. But we're going to have a crash right here up on the far right side. Some guys hooked the barriers and kind of bounced out into the course, so dive bombing. Try not to get chopped by riders coming on the inside of me to escape that crash. Ended up making it out pretty safe. And luckily, since I'm so far ahead, I'm on the good side of the split. So with 130 riders, it's just going to get so strung out right here. And I kind of, you can see the riders just now taking the turn in front of me. So it's getting strung out. Guys know that there's a crash. They're putting the power down right here. And I'm trying to get comfortable with that right-hand turn as there's a bunch of big seams in the middle of the apex. But I know this is a crucial part of the race. Even though it's really early, I know I really need to spend some watts right here to make sure I'm on the right side of a split if one happens. Come over the top of the left-hander by the sound pony as we're going to make this next left-hand turn. I call it the construction zone. It's going to drop back down. So there's a little bit of an uphill and a pretty fun downhill as well. So you can gain a ton of speed, but you can see it's not letting up. Single file ahead of us, single file behind me. Right here riding behind my buddy Lenny with Super Squadra out of Asheville. So I know if he's feeling comfortable, I am as well. Unfortunately, you see guys already waving their hands. They are going to neutralize this race. So it turns out one of the guys that hooked the barriers need a little bit more medical attention. So they had to neutralize the race. We ended up going to have to stop right here and kind of reset. If you guys know anything about racing in a neutral, you always know that it's probably some of the most competitive racing, and argy-bargy racing is because you're going super slow and you're trying to gain as many positions as you can. So I do what I can right here just to get a couple more spots, but unfortunately they're going to hold us at the line. And in this like 96-degree Oklahoma sun, Oklahoma heat, it's not dry out here, guys. There's a good bit of humidity too. It's not fun. So like you immediately just start roasting, you know. Heart rate was high, now it's dropping back down. It's hot, it's muggy. Luckily some guys over on the sideline kind of brought us some water, so appreciate those dudes passing out the waters to us that weren't racing. But the riders, they ended up clearing the course, but it took about 5 to 6 minutes to do so. And it's just one of those things like, all right, how are we going to take this first turn one, the rest of the race? So let's go ahead and skip ahead and see what happens. All right, we're just finishing up our first lap back from restarting the race. So again, had to sit there about 5 to 6 minutes. And as you can see, I'm in a pretty good position. There's 3 guys up the road right now, and I'm just kind of, you know, playing it safe. You know, this field is definitely above my weight class, so I'm just trying to, you know, save as many watts as I can, ride as efficiently as I can, and follow good wheels. But we had I believe it's a Night Owls racer go up the road right here. He's going to go up on that chase to try and bridge up to those first 2 to 3 riders that are up the road. But we started noticing coming out of turn 1, going into turn 1 out of it, just was a lot of surginess. Everyone after that crash was just grabbing brakes. I don't know if it was just a narrow exit or what, but it was causing some chaos a little bit the rest of the race. All right, check this Mustang's rider, red and white up here on the left. He does this like weird feint. So he's feinting to the right, comes back out, and then boom. But I don't know if he's trying to like pull some, you know, P1 feint, but he totally botched the corner and kind of chopped all of our wheels.
Keep it chill, bro. Yeah.
But what was weird is you normally see that whenever you're trying to defend the front with a lead out. He didn't have that. So a little weird. We talked to him a little bit. We're all good. But now the swarm has come. So we were relaxing just for a little bit, and the teams are ready to go to bring back those 3 riders that are up the road. People are only waiting about a half a straightaway, if that, to make sure the surge and the watts are going up the road. All right, 24 minutes in, we're coming down the downhill into the final turn. A really fun turn right here. So you can see it's going to open up on the right a little bit. The barriers are going to move right, and that was a great spot to kind of gain some positions, but we're single file right now. So what does that mean? It means high speeds. Single file on the front, single file on the rear. Check out the guy in the rear, purple rider. He starts waving his hands. I'm like, what's he, I don't know if the carbon guy told him or is chirping at him or not, but it's way too fast to be moving up right now, to be motivating other guys to kind of pull through. It's just kind of sit on the wheel, don't leave gaps, and hold on. Get as big a draft as you can. As we take this left-hander, coming on this section of straightaway, this was a headwind right here. So luckily it's not too long, but throughout the race, it would definitely weigh on you, and you want to make sure you're protected and sheltered from the wind as much as you can. As we take the right-hand turn again, there's a big seam and crack in the middle of the apex. It ended up being not much of an issue, but there was some chunks that were taken out right there. All right, finally, as you can see, the group is swelling up and the speed is slowing down. We end up resetting right there. All right, pushing ahead, guys. So this is a 1 hour crit. We are just over halfway at 36 minutes in. The whole goal for this entire race for me was really just to stand my ground. That's kind of been my motto for this race, is taking a little bit of education from yesterday, starting too far back and having to fight so much. And so coming through turn 1, if you could kind of get a clear line and stay off the brakes, you could really make up about 2 to 3 to maybe 4 wheels from guys. And again, it was super surgy and congested coming into turn 1 and turn 2 throughout this race. But again, trying to stay my ground. Everyone's getting more and more comfortable with all these riders in the group, especially on the front end of this race. I can definitely report being in the back on day 1 is way harder than being on the front or towards the front on day 2. As you can see, we take that corner and we come up the uphill towards the Sound Pony. Hard to capture on camera, but this is a pretty, I would say, substantial or relevant hill. It's not as steep as, let's say, Athens, or even as steep as like Winston-Salem Criterium Classic. So way more manageable for a rider like me who is not good at hills. All right, pushing ahead, guys. 48 minutes in. It's going to be fast again. There's a lot of surginess. Guys are trying to go up the road. There's just not a huge team presence. And when there is, like, we've kind of already, like, marked those team riders that are wanting to go up the road. You can see solid effort, 400, 500 watt effort up the hill towards the Sound Pony. And as we make this left-hand turn, there's a big manhole cover right there, boom, in the middle of the turn. Either you want to be on the inside of it or the outside of it. Going straight over just kind of kills a lot of momentum, and it's getting single file and fast. Guys are kind of dropping wheels a little bit. Gaps are opening up. Alarm bells are going off in my head to get on the pedals really quick, get aero as I can, use this downhill section and draft to suck up back to the back of these wheels, and try not to use many watts. All right, just skipping ahead just another minute. All right, so I was feeling pretty good, and 10 minutes to go, things are going to get more and more aggressive, argy-bargy. It's going to be so much harder to move up as we get closer to the finish of this race. We have a little bit of attack right here. Again, coming up the Sound Pony Hill. I'm sitting probably 30th wheel right now. I really want to get a better finish than I did on day 1. So coming around a few guys, spinning some watts. It wasn't as hard as the previous lap, but we just had some momentum to carry, and some guys were kind of moving backwards, and found a fun little line right here a couple times throughout the race on the right side. Just guys would leave you about a half a bike length, and you can just roll right through it, take the wide line, coming left downhill, and do the same thing. Sometimes there'd be a guy in front of you on this downhill, sometimes it wouldn't, and even though we have a right to left crosswind coming through here, it really wouldn't have to do too many watts to coming down this hill. So one guy passed me right there in the green. That was enough, rider, so I want to stay on the pedals, stay off the brakes as much as I can as we come through the final left-hand turn to the straightaway. All right, we are ripping through this thing. Little short little edit today. 53 minutes in, so we're getting close to the final laps, and it's hard to catch that, but there was a guy right in front of the Skyway rider that almost slid out right in front of us in the construction section. It was a little dusty up there, just something you had to be aware of. Nothing crazy, but trying to, again, find this outside line on the downhill and stay off the brakes. Use as much momentum as you can. The exit is really wide on this turn. The barriers don't come in until another like 100 yards later. Get back on the power, find a good draft. Trying to find this big boy right here, this Taeroon Elite rider in the pink. Couldn't get to his wheel. Have to kind of dive in a little bit and stay sheltered. All right, y'all, we're skipping ahead 57 minutes in. This is the last lap, and unfortunately, I've made up a few spots those previous couple laps. I made about 10 to 15 spots up. I was feeling really good, sitting about 20th wheel, and unfortunately, this last lap is just, they're just going to take my lunch money, guys. So watch how not to do the final lap at Tulsa Tough. So boom, one spot lost, gain one back right there. We're going to take this final turn. It's always been surging and real brakey through here. Just try and lay off the brakes as best you can. Obviously, the last lap's way faster than anything else. Another 800 watts. This is really hurting after an hour of crit racing. This wide line was always really open, but you always just felt like you lost so much momentum right here because you'd hit this headwind as you hit this straightaway. Boom, lose a spot to one guy. 300, 400 watts is not enough. Other guys coming around me right here. And I kind of just botched this like right-hander just a little bit. Carries me out left. Lose a little bit of momentum. But you can see the whole race is just swelling way up the road. But look at, I mean, I'm like 15 yards back. I can't take advantage of that. Lose one more spot to a Skyway rider. Some guys are dropping off, but other guys are being aggressive. Just, I get swarmed right here on the inside. Just lost a lot of momentum. Just did not have, I guess, that snap in my legs for this last lap to carry the speed I needed to coming into this downhill. About 4 positions lost right there, and it is not looking good. I'm really irritated myself right now in the race and just trying to kind of do what I can. I'm pretty pegged, rocking 187 BPM right now. Not much I can have left in the tank. Get past on the outside, and that's just, I don't want to be in the middle going through this turn in case someone biffs it, and just couldn't keep all the momentum I wanted to. And stand up out of the saddle right here, not much really to show for it, a little bit 900 watt sprint, nothing crazy, and just, you know, trying to navigate traffic the best you can. Guys are sitting back down, and boom, at the line. Yeah, guys, that is day 2, Tulsa Tough, Arts District Criterium. Great time, super fun course. Ended up finishing, I think, 40th, mid-40s right in there. So nothing really to write home about, but another successful day keeping the wheels upright, not hitting the deck. Stay tuned, guys, for Crybaby Hill. We're going to be riding along with Nick on that race, so stay tuned and appreciate y'all watching.